Germany has 9 neighbors, and every country in Europe has a sign. You know? So these things all stand for something.
I can't see this sign.
Poland is one of the neighbors on the eastern side. France is a big neighbor on the western side. Czechoslovakia, CZ. Of course, no, Czechoslovakia is right there. Czechoslovakia, now it's Czech, Slovakia. And Switzerland is right there, CH. And Austria is right here. And of course, we can all name the big ones. Poland, France, Czech Republic, Austria, Denmark. Switzerland. What's this, and this? Yes?
Luxembourg.
Here's Luxembourg. Here's Netherlands, Holland, Netherlands. And this one nobody will get.
Finland.
Yes.
Finland.
No. It's first into Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein.
That was my second.
Hey guys, you're
Liechtenstein
listening.
is a little country between Austria and Switzerland, and Liechtenstein is right there. These are all Germany's neighbors. Now, the reason I use these symbols is because on all German license plates today, they have this symbol at the beginning to know what country you're from. My country of birth is Germany, so my car has a D on it. D stands for Deutschland. The reason Denmark doesn't use D's as Deutschland has, that's why they use DK. And those, whenever you see these symbols, and I know you all know this one because one time I was giving a speech and I was holding up the CH symbol and we had a Heidi festival and I said, what does this stand for? And somebody in the audience said, Chicago! And I said, no! And why did I say no? Because it stands for Switzerland. You know that. Why? Because S is used by Sweden, Espanols, Spain uses the ES, so CH stands for Confederation Helvetia, Swiss Confederation. So that's how they identify cars in Europe. So those are kind of need to know those signs, especially if there's tourists coming to town. Know what they stand for. Okay?
I got it.
9 neighbors.
So it's by 9 countries, more than any other European countries. And then it's bordered by the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. There's an answer you're going to want to fill in. The other thing you guys might want to write in.
I can't fill it in.
You can write it while you're...
That's hard.
I'll write it for you.
Okay?
Yay!
The North Sea and the Baltic Sea.
Is the North Sea? Is the Baltic Sea?
Thank you,
One thing you guys
Grapes.
might want to write down in your packet over here on this side, you might want to write down those symbols. And then Mr. Etter will probably go through them one more time slowly. So what P stands for. So then you guys can have those written here for what are the 9 countries. Okay, that surround it. That would be a good thing for you guys to know. So we'll give you 2 minutes to write down those letters and then leave a little space, and then he will, there you go, he'll write them down.
Oh, I know for you. Poland, France, Czech Republic.
Wait, are we writing the
Sure,
definition?
should I
Like
pull up
the,
there?
Right,
Because you can't
what
really
He
see
gets
the
done.
I'm writing
Austria,
C.
Denmark. I'm writing fast, it's going to be a little sloppy. CH is Switzerland. Luxembourg, Netherlands, you could say Holland or Netherlands.
Holland.
Holland. FL, Fürstentum Liechtenstein. Fürstentum means the Duchy of Liechtenstein. I wrote it down below.
How are we writing this? I'm confused.
Just write it the best you can.
Just write the best you can.
So you're writing the letter.
At least you
So
know
if
where
it's
they are.
P, capital P, you put space and it means Poland. Czech Republic.
CZ is Czech Republic. CZ, Czech.
Big hat card.
Czech Republic.
There you go.
CZEK. The spelling isn't that important as long as you can say it, I guess. I need to believe this or not, boys and girls, I'm not bragging, I'm kind of complaining. I have obviously been in every one of those countries. Because when I go over to Germany, with Mr. Radek, who's here right now with the German students, we visit all those places. There are places in these places that we visit. It's very nice.
And they don't end up taking cars or anything, you pretty much take the train, right?
Australia.
Right now, well, Bernie and I will go down to South with my family. I take a train And I would not have to show a passport anymore. In the old days, when you went from Switzerland to Germany, you had to show your passport. Now they see the D on your car, and they say go.
Oh, so it's open border.
It's pretty open border. All of Europe is pretty open border.
What?
The last one is first to Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein.
Get as close as you can to Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein.
Should I go get them, Mr.
It's a
Eddie?
little kingdom,
Mr. Eddie. Should I go?
and it's kind of neat. It used to be known for postage stamps.
I
Now we
know.
go up to the castle, have a beer. And
Wait, are we getting a grade on this, Mr. Eddie?
what's
On the
that?
packet?
You're taking notes because you're going to need it later. That's the
Okay.
point.
Okay. Because then my grade would be in Grace's
Alright.
hands. Move!
Facts about Germany. One thing we know, the capital is what?
Berlin.
Anything we need to know about Berlin, Mr. Etter?
Yes, Berlin was a divided city after World War II. When Germany lost, Germany was divided into 4 zones of occupation. The French zone, the English zone, the British zone, and the Russian zone. The Russian zone was East Germany. Now, since the Russians were communists and the other 3 countries, France and the USA, and Great Britain didn't like communism too well, they decided, well, let's take the capital of Berlin and divide that into 4 sections too. So you had East Berlin and West Berlin because the 3 nations, France, England, and the USA, put their sections together to make West Berlin. Now, you've heard about the famous Berlin Wall. Really, that famous Berlin Wall wasn't a wall between East and West Berlin. It was a wall around West Berlin. Because people from East Berlin and East Germany were going to West Berlin to be free. So get it? That wall was all the way around it. Yeah. And of course they put a big barbed wire fence between East Germany, which became the communist country, and West Germany, which became the free country. I was born in Hamelin, which was the British zone. Northern Germany, Hamelin became the British zone of occupation. The Americans came there first after the war, and we loved the Americans, but then when the British came in, we didn't love the British as much. For
Come
obvious reasons.
on.
We didn't have much food.
Other major cities. Hamburg, right?
Hamburg.
Hamburg, Munich, and Cologne. Cologne is on the Rhine River, and Cologne is actually
use the
pronounced
Grace,
Köln.
you don't have to write everything, just the like very important stuff.
It's got a beautiful cathedral, and it's got a beautiful bridge over the Rhine. It's called Köln, and we call it Cologne. And the reason it's called Cologne, or I should say, the reason that stinky water is called Cologne, because they have Kölnisch Wasser, which is called 4711, and 4711 was the name of the street where they made cologne water or perfume. That's where perfume was invented, basically, and that's why we call it Cologne. Hamburg is a city in northern Germany, Hamburg, and München, Munich. München is a city in southern Germany, Bavaria. Germany is divided into 16 states. München is the capital of Bavaria. I'm from northern Germany called Lower Saxony or Niedersachsen. The capital of Niedersachsen is Hannover. And these kids that we have here in Bluegrass right now, they're from Hessen. That's Hessen. That's a state south of Niedersachsen. I don't think you need to know all those states, but you know, everybody knows that we have 50 states, but Germany has 16. Germany is much, much smaller than the USA. Obviously. Okay.
I put new markers up there, they'll stay a little bit better. So we talked about the idea of population. We've got 81 million people. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know the population in the United States right off.
330,000 million.
330 million?
330 million.
So 330 million, roughly 4 times the size.
Yeah.
Okay. Life expectancy, men, about 78, almost 78 years, and ladies, just like most around, about 83. And I believe in the United States it's right about 76, and probably, did you guys talk about that earlier? You guys do?
Life expectancy.
We're probably a little bit lower, because us Americans don't have diet. Exactly. So literacy rate, here's what's really good, 99%. one thing that they focus with in a lot of the European, and Mr. Etter, please correct me if I'm wrong, is this idea of schooling and the importance of education. And so a lot of times you'll see these world rankings with different schools and which ones are doing really well and have high literacy rates, high math rates, and a lot of them are European nations, in Finland, well, I don't know, Scotland, but Finland and Germany and Great Britain, all those different ones have really high rates. Yeah.
So does that mean like literacy rate means how many people are going to school?
No, how many people can read?
Read and write.
Read and write.
I started school when I was 2 years old in Germany.
Did you still graduate when you were 18?
2 years old when I came to America in 4th grade.
No.
I went to kindergarten for 3 years. Age 2, age 3, age 4.
And what was the purpose of that? Just to have you constantly around?
It was to educate me.
The camera's
and
not that wide.
under the Nazi era, to brainwash me a little bit.
Some
To
people.
make sure that I was going to grow up to be a good little Nazi. Who
No.
helped Adolf Hitler. Every morning we used to go into kindergarten and we used to, there's a picture on the wall and we used to have to raise our right hand like this. And we said, Guten Morgen, Onkel Adolf. Good morning, Uncle Adolf. Every morning we had to do that. We were forced to do that. That's how they got you to believe in the Nazi regime, which my parents didn't really believe in. So it was a double sword. And I said to my mother one time, I said, Mother, why didn't you send me to a Nazi kindergarten then? She said, everybody had to go. It was a law. And it was free daycare. Yeah. Huh?
Remember we were talking about, now it's time for running, and we talked about the idea of the president kind of forcing his hand and getting in there of making sure people vote for him and keep going.
Yeah.
That whole idea of kind of brainwashing is very similar. And the thing, about Adolf Hitler and then, these different dictators, it's not like it's anything new. What Hitler did was nothing new. It was something that, people before him previously did. There's some of like the emperors in Japan in the past have done that. There's different, Kim Jong-un right now is a good example. There's certain things, once they get into power, that they set it up that you can't go against me, so I'm going to keep having you promote, and they're going to do these different types of things. And so, nothing new, but it's just amazing how just people kind of reinvent themselves and then still find a way to get to power. Alright, physical features. And I have not been to Germany. Have any of you actually been to Germany? I know, Max, you probably have, right? Because your brother's over there right now.
He's coming back today.
Is he coming back today? For good or for
11 days.
11 days and then heading back over?
Yeah, Max.
He's going to school, right?
Max.
You want to talk about some of the physical features in Germany?
Yeah,
How
boys and
beautiful the
girls,
country it is?
you got to remember Germany is smaller than the United States, and you can drive through the country from north to south in about 7 hours. But northern Germany is pretty flat. Where I'm from, it's pretty flat. There's not very many mountains up there. There's hills. It looks like Wisconsin. But in Germany, the further you go south, the more mountainous it gets. The Alps, A-L-P-S, are the mountains that are in Switzerland. And the further you go south in Germany, the colder it gets. Now that's weird because the mountains makes it colder. There's higher elevation. Once you get over the mountains, you get into Italy. Italy, of course, is quite warm. Now these pictures here show you a lot of castles because remember Germany used to be a bunch of 31 little kingdoms, and our town had a castle. Every little town had a castle because in the olden days,
Move your
the
head.
town got built around the castle because the castle protected those people. There used to be a lot of wars in Germany, and you lived in that town, and a lot of German towns have walls around them. So those gates would be closed at night so people couldn't come in and steal and rob. Questions, comments? If ever you get to Germany, you'll see some of these many, many beautiful buildings, and you'll see these old rivers and the bridges. This looks like the city of Heidelberg. Heidelberg is a big university town. But the big thing you should remember is northern Germany is flatter, southern Germany is more mountainous. And those old cities are from the Middle Ages with the walls around them. And every little town had a castle. And I remember as a kid, we played in our castle because it was ruins. And there was an underground passage that went from the castle to downtown. And when we were kids, we were playing there. Finally, about 20, 30 years ago, I went over there and I wanted to show that passage to one of my relatives, and they said, oh, they closed it now because it was falling. It was 600 years old, so what do you say?
That's the other thing that I want to jump in on there is, we've kind of talked about it. When we talk about the United States, we talk about something being old, we're talking